We are honored to have the talented Anjali Bhimani on our stage again. In addition to being a well-recognized actress from hit series like Modern Family and Disney's Miss Marvel, to a long career voicing video games as Symmetra in Overwatch and Rampart in Apex Legends, among others, Anjali is also an author and producer and a longtime friend to G4C. Please join me in welcoming Anjali, a member of the Mental Health Task Force and our first G4C Global Ambassador, to the stage.
Hi guys! Oh, I have my phone in my pocket. That's unnecessary. Let's chuck that over there. I am so excited that they were crazy enough to let me wrap this up because after that conversation, what I really wanted to talk with you guys about more today is a little bit different than what I usually talk about when I do this topic. Usually I'm talking to people about basically staying connected with themselves while we're all on social media and dealing with so many different things in our lives that are connecting us but also keeping us disconnected. But I don't really feel like I need to tell you guys about that because you are on the other side of things. You're already making the change. You're already creating things to help us all connect with each other through games. So what I wanted to talk about today was a little bit more about my story and a little bit more of a personal version of my story and why games matter so much to me. So this is the unadulterated secret story that you will hear that you can't read in interviews. Won't be a secret very long. So imagine, if you will, little theater of the mind, a scrawny little Indian girl in Orange County, California, where there was no visual proof that blonde hair and blue eyes was a recessive gene. So unathletic that her soccer coach named her Turtle. Yeah, I know. It still was really fun. So I don't know if it was when the Apple II Plus showed up in our home and I started playing the lemonade game, running a lemonade stand and learning about that through games. You know what I'm talking about. Or if it was when my brother gave me the Dungeons and Dragons basic rule set around the same age, and I suddenly dove into that amazing world and learned that a halfling can kill a red dragon, and so this little scrawny girl could maybe do amazing things with her life. Or it was just playing board games with my family, playing games like Acquire, so you're learning about global acquisitions at 8 years old, because that's what you do, right? That makes perfect sense. I don't know which one came first, but I do know that we lived in a family that loved games, loved the mental gymnastics you would do with it, loved the connection that we would have with it, loved card games, loved board games, loved video games, loved role-playing games. And this from my two surgeon parents, who were, much like Venba, immigrants from India who were just trying to give a better life to their kids. So games were a huge part of that little girl's life. And although I knew that I was different, and I knew that I was other, somehow because of those games and because of the kids that I got to play with, I didn't feel othered. I didn't feel like it wasn't possible for me to kill that red dragon because I got to do it on a regular basis. I got to imagine those big, beautiful dreams, those big, beautiful ambitions. I got to imagine being an adventurer, being the hero of my own story from a very, very young age. So as time went on, I continued playing games, continued moving on playing Dungeons and Dragons, playing the Forgotten Realms games, got to college, gradually started playing a little bit less games, or a little bit maybe hiding a little bit that I was playing games so much because back in my day, it wasn't so cool as it is now for all you young whippersnappers. It wasn't so cool to be a girl playing Dungeons and Dragons. So I was playing a little bit less, kind of playing in my secret other life. And then, as I graduated college and became an actress and stepped into the theater world, which was my dream, my big, huge dream, and I continued doing theater, and I lucked into some of the most amazing experiences. I moved here to New York City with a show that moved to Broadway, lived with my beautiful cousin Raj, who is here in the audience, who is an extraordinary artist himself. Please check him out online, rajbhimani.com. Sorry, shameless self-promotion and shameless family promotion is part of my deal here. That's what happens. Although I realized that I just jumped into stuff here and I didn't even introduce myself. Hi guys, I'm Anjali. I feel like we all met over the course of the weekend, so we'll keep going. So these amazing dreams were happening to me, but I was kind of hiding a little bit more. I was playing games a little bit less and a little bit less, even though I'd run home from between shows and I would play Heroes of Might and Magic or whatever. But somewhere in that time during that first Broadway show, I made the inexplicable decision to stop playing games. Somehow I told myself, you gotta do something, to be more serious, do more important things with your time. This is weird that you are so into this. Other people are doing important things. I don't know what they were doing that was so important, but other people are doing things. You should be more serious. Be more serious about your craft. Be more serious about being an artist. And I just kind of stopped gaming. Now, I can't say whether or not these two things were definitely cause and effect, but I can tell you that right around that time was also right around the time that I started to give away my agency, to give away my sense of being the protagonist in my own story. The world was already telling me as an actress that I was the sidekick or the guest star or, 9,000 doctors because Indian. The world was already telling me that I wasn't the leading woman. But I was telling myself that I wasn't the leading woman. I was telling myself that I wasn't the hero. And whether it was friend relationships, whether it was romantic relationships, I started to become more and more weirdly desperate to give away my power, to seek out other people that I thought might save me or approve of me, whether it was people who wanted to give me a job or people who wanted to date me or just people I wanted to be friends with. I was handing over that hero to someone else. And I fell into a very deep depression during my time here in New York. And again, I can't tell you whether or not the two were exactly the same, but I can tell you they happened at the same time. It wasn't probably until 2015 when I did an audition for a game that was at the time called Prometheus that I had started to step into my power again a little bit here and there. I had just started auditioning for voiceover. My agent sent me this audition. I sent it off, didn't expect anything of it, found out I got it, and I stepped into the studio that first day, and they told me it was a game called Overwatch. And they showed me my character. And here was that hero. Here was that powerful woman named Symmetra, who had taken the circumstances of her life, of her upbringing, the hard knocks that she had taken, her neurodiversity, which made life harder for her in many ways. She had taken all of that and turned it into fuel to make the world a better place. She had turned it into purpose. She had turned it into empowerment. She had turned it into something that drove her and made her the protagonist of her own story. And I remember seeing that and being there with Andrea Toyes and just crying, thinking of that little girl who didn't have that to look at when she was younger. She didn't have that understanding that not only could you be the hero of your own story, you could actually play the hero of someone else's story. They could come step into a game, play the game as you, and take that feeling of being the hero into their own lives and have agency because of it. As soon as I started coming back to the gaming world, not only was I able to reclaim my agency, but I started to understand how important games are in providing it to others, in providing other people a vehicle to have experiences that they have never had before, but not just because they were watching from afar, and not scripts that they weren't a part of, but they were stepping in to the story. They were stepping into someone's shoes that was completely different from them, but they could take that experience with them out into the world and hopefully see the hero in themselves because they had played as that hero. The more I connected with the gaming community, the more love I saw than I had ever seen in the television fan community, in the theatrical community. And don't get me wrong, everybody has been incredibly loving, but there's something about the gaming community where people step in and they step up, and they do it for each other, with each other, in such a powerful way. So because of that Overwatch community, I met artists, I met cosplayers, I met fan fiction writers, I met comedians, I met people from all over the world who just wanted to give of themselves in some artistic way. They were inspired by it. Now, the only thing that I have that I know no one else has that I have to offer is my story, is my set of experiences, and how I've lived through them, whether gracefully or ungracefully. That's the only thing that I have to share that I know no one else has. And so I started a series called I Am Fun Size, where I would answer questions for people, not as advice, but with stories, because no one wants to hear what they should do, but everybody will lean into a good story. And the purpose that I wanted to serve is the same purpose that I want to serve as an actress and have always wanted to serve as an artist, which is letting people know they're not alone. Your journey is unique and absolutely yours alone, but you don't have to go on it alone. There's always someone beside you, cheering you on, singing a song, sending you stupid dog memes, whatever it is. There's always someone there to be next to you and say, I know that what you're going through is hard, but I'm here. I'm here. So I did that series for the community. I ended up writing a book called I Am Fun Size. Incidentally, I Am Fun Size basically refers to what I believe is the truth that we are all fun size, because we are all built for huge, fun, magnificent lives. And you know what is a huge, fun, magnificent life booster? Games. Games, games, games. I connected with this gaming community. Not only did I find agency, but I found a way to express the empathy that I had for other people, feel it coming back from people, and see them taking it out into the world and spreading it like a delicious, happy, good virus. Spreading it in a way that we need in the world. So I now refer to that period as the dark days of gaming when I didn't game, because coming back to gaming saved my life. It saved my life as a person. It saved my life as an artist. It saved my life in so many ways. And if it wasn't for that little girl being the inspiration for me staying and sticking it out all of these years, and coming back to all of you, and coming back and getting to see the amazing things that everyone is doing in this room, the amazing things that all of you are a part of, I don't know if I would be here. Honestly, don't know if I would be here. So that, to me, is a single story, a single reason, just my one story of how games saved my life. Think about all of the people that you are touching, because you are giving them agency and helping them express and teach empathy with what they are doing. And that's what we've talked about all weekend, right? Agency and empathy. You can do it for yourself through games. You can do it with each other through games. It's probably, in my opinion, the most powerful art form we find. So I wanted to share that story with all of you as we close today, because we talk about it globally a lot, right? We talk about all of the games and how we can reach so many people and how we can reach huge underserved communities and how we can make huge change, how we can work with the mental health task force that I'm so excited to be a part of, how we can do that on a big scale. But I want you, whenever you are questioning, if you are questioning the hard work that you are doing is making a difference, please think of me. Think of me. Think of little me, that little scrawny 8-year-old girl, because for every one of her, there are millions out there. There are millions out there that need your game, and they need your art. They need your art. I've been reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, and I will paraphrase this poorly, but he says essentially the artist's mission is to take information from source and interpret it through the lens of their own experience, using the craft that they have chosen. Each and every one of you is an artist using technology for the powers of good, and I can't imagine a more noble thing to be taking on. So in the last few minutes that I have here, I wanted to open this up to questions, because if there's anything that I can do, there's one more thing I wanted to do, and my friend Julia is gonna punch me in the face for doing it. But I know Susanna said that one of the goals here is that everybody should leave with one contact. My team is at info@anjalibhimani.com. If you have a game that you are trying to get off the ground, that you feel is good for mental health or is good for a community, and you have questions, if you are a voiceover actor and you have questions, email my team, and if there's anything that I can do, even in a short email, or introduce you to someone, I would love to do that, because you guys are the change that's happening that we need. So now, I wanted to see if anybody has any questions. Yes. Yes, you. Hi. Oh, thank you. They're so fast with the mic. They didn't know I was going to do this. Sorry about that.
Hi.
Actors always going off the rails.
Hi. I'm Feli, she, her. I just want to say your words were so inspiring. I felt so touched because I'm currently in a spot where I've just kind of felt like I'm slowly losing that passion for games, and like it really made me remember why exactly I play them and how they saved me. So I want to ask you, what would you say is one of your favorite games that you've played, and what game has helped you in your darkest moments?
Oh, that's a great question. In my darkest moments, it's hard because my darkest moments happened when I wasn't gaming, right? The community that I met, the gaming community, has helped me in my darkest moments. The launch of Overwatch and the sort of rise to grandeur of that game also corresponded with the passing of my father. And him getting to share that his daughter was a big Indian superhero before he passed away was kind of one of the greatest things I could ever have asked for in that time. He left in the most graceful way that any human being could possibly leave this planet, and to this day, I feel like he's been up there with a single malt scotch in one hand and, orchestrating my life in the other. So Overwatch, in many ways, even though I'm terrible at playing it because I can't do first-person shooters, I was not meant for greatness. That game definitely made a huge difference. Dungeons and Dragons, role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games. Here's the thing that I love about tabletop role-playing games. If you've never played a tabletop role-playing game, you're not living. Tabletop role-playing games are long-form improv with your best friends, except instead of someone in the audience giving you really stupid suggestions because they're drunk, you are there with your game master giving you this beautiful world to play in, and you and your friends are making decisions based purely on the desire to tell a great story. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So that definitely has made a difference in my life, not just as, in terms of my own happiness and mental health, but as an actress, as an artist. It's some of the most incredibly fulfilling acting that I have gotten to do in my entire career. And I've gotten to do some cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yes.
I was just asked of that raw data hip hop. On that note of tabletop role-playing games, I'm a big fan of Desi Quest and the guests.
Thank you.
But I guess I just wanted to ask how it felt to bring a table together like that and tell stories like that. It's really exciting to watch, but I also feel like it'd be really powerful to make.
Thank you for asking.
I was
that.
just...
Yeah, no, thank you. For those of you that don't know, we created a show called Desi Quest, which is a Dungeons and Dragons actual play show, except our dungeon master, Jasmine Pilar, has created a universe that, unlike most D&D campaigns, which are like medieval European settings, it is set in a fantasy universe inspired by India, with an entire main cast of South Asian performers and players, but our guest cast are all people from different backgrounds and different countries. It's one of the things I am the most proud of being a part of, both as a producer and as a player, because in my opinion, diversity exists. We don't have to make it exist, it's there. Inclusion and inclusivity is the thing we have to work on. And inclusivity to me is it's not Noah's Ark, it's not seeing one of everything, it's not or two of everything. It's inviting people to your party. It's inviting people to your story. It's saying, we don't care if you make mistakes. We don't care if you don't know the language. Please, for the love of God, come wear our clothes and try it out and we'll tell you about the food. That's what Desi Quest feels like to me. It feels like those guest players are surrogates for anyone who wants to learn about the culture. And we get to be surrogates for anyone who might feel disconnected from it or might be first generation born here and not have the information. So yeah, it's been incredibly powerful and it's just been a joy upon joy to be a part of. Yeah. I think we have time for one more. Yes, go ahead. Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll do 2 more. Oh, okay. We'll do 2 more.
We really...
Okay. And then we'll come back to you.
I was wondering if you have a go-to game for when you have like 20 free minutes and need a quick pick-me-up.
Okay, so last night, literally after I left the awards, I went home, and as I was unwinding, I turned on Pocket Beacon, Critical Role's new channel, and I proceeded to listen to my friend Marisha talking about how Stardew Valley is part of her self-care routine.
Yeah.
And then I texted her and I said, okay, so what I am learning right now from one of my North Stars is that my self-care routine has been all wrong because I've been trying like meditation and hiking and journaling, but really I need to pick up Stardew Valley. And she immediately said, Anjali, if you like, I think that it was all caps and it said, Anjali, comfort games are life.
You're good at that.
So I don't have it yet, but I have a feeling that Stardew Valley will be up there. I know Venba will be up there. I'm actually I'd already texted my mom today and told her that I'm gonna be playing Venba with her, my 84-year-old Indian mother. And I are gonna play Venba together and make idlis together, and I'm very excited about that. Very, very excited, yes. And yes, you got the final question.
Is it working? If you had a time machine and you're able to go back to when you're 8 or to when you're at your lowest point, what would you say and why?
I would say, stop worrying about all the things that you are not and start loving the things that you are. Because the things that make you weird and different and feel a little bit like you are not like everyone else are the things that are going to bring you love when you grow up. They're going to be the things that make you proud to be who you are. You're going to find the best friends you could possibly imagine. And yes, you're going to have an awesome career because you are weird. Everything that makes you unique is the thing that makes you special. And I know it sounds so trite, but I'm telling you guys, I lived it. I lived it. I didn't want to be who I was for so many years. And when I finally just started leaning into like, okay, you're this, 5-foot weird Indian girl and that's gonna be your life, all of a sudden everything changed. And I could actually see all the love around me that was coming at me from my family and from my friends. And I would have really lived a lot more of the years that I let pass me by because I was trying so hard not to be me. You guys, this has been an extraordinary festival. Thank you so much for being here.